Sarri has left the building. Finally, his departure confirmed from Chelsea, returning back to Italian football to manage Juventus. Apparently, it's going to be about 5 million compensation for Chelsea regarding his departure from the role. It was short but sweet, well, at least in my opinion. You're going to find some really strong opinions regarding Sarri, and we'll delve into all of that about how well he did at Chelsea and my personal opinion on that. But question of the day for you guys: what did you make of Maurizio Sarri's short time at Chelsea? Did you think it went well? Did you think it went poorly? What mistakes did he make? And do you think it was a mistake Chelsea letting him go, because he has chosen by himself to leave rather than getting the sack, it appears? But let me know all that good stuff in the comments below. But on Sarri, I think I'll get into sort of the intricacies of his time at Chelsea, but just in my personal view, it's probably the overarching feeling I've had, and I've said this before on Twitter, and I felt this as the season went on, even though it did end quite well. He was the right man at the wrong time, in my personal view. I feel like Sarri was such a departure from what Chelsea fans have been used to in terms of a manager. He was very much of an ideas man. He didn't come with a massive CV of winning trophies. His whole sort of aura was about the style of football, was about embodying a style of football and developing a style of football, which was so in contrast to what Chelsea had been doing, which was more to counter-attacking, results-based football. And I feel like that's where the friction with the fan base came, in my opinion. Because in truth, it started quite well for Sarri. He had a brilliant start to the season, and it looked like Chelsea could maybe even challenge for the title. But the harsh winter months came, and with that came a change of opinion, and really it split the fan base right up to the end of the season. But, I personally feel like Sarri's did achieve his objectives at Chelsea. He got us third, which was 2 places higher than Antonio Conte did the season previously. He got us back to Champions League football, which was the main objective of the season. He also won us another piece of silverware, European silverware, against Arsenal in that brilliant final performance in Baku. So I feel like overall, and not only that, I feel he was progressing the football. I feel like players like Jorginho and Kepa were big additions to sort of modernise the squad, and he was really looking to me like he was going to start to progress the team again next season if he would have stayed. But he's gone, and there were some negatives within there as well. I don't just want to completely be biased. I don't just want to sugarcoat it and say there were no negatives and no valid criticisms of him. There were team selection problems, with staleness within the team, with a lack of a meritocracy, and really it took him to about late March, early April to finally nail down to what that team was and what it should have been, with bringing in Loftus-Cheek and Hudson-Odoi and Emerson and Christensen, those type of players that added more pace to the team. There was lots of debate around Kante or Jorginho. I personally feel like that debate got very stale very quickly, and I feel like in the end Sarri was proven right, in my opinion. I feel like Jorginho became one of our best players, and it's going to be really interesting to see how he fits into a new manager system, because I really think as the season went on, he grew into that role and grew into English football and became one of our better performers after a difficult winter period, which pretty much the whole team suffered. And he won silverware. A lot of the criticisms of Sarri was that he couldn't win silverware. He didn't have a trophy in his CV. Well, he achieved that at Chelsea, and no matter what the permutations and the circumstances, there's a lot of caveats surrounding Sarri's achievements. People like to say he got top 4 because of the failings of Arsenal, Manchester United and Tottenham. Football's played over a 38-game season, and Sarri, even though I think matched Conte's, or at least was similar to Conte's point tally the season before, which didn't get us Champions League football, in 18-19, it did get us Champions League football. You play within the season you're in, and in that season it was good enough to get us Champions League football, which it did. Sure, we had some awful Premier League defeats, notably to Bournemouth and to Manchester City, which were unforgivable, really disastrous performances, both in their own right, and those were really signs that it looked like Sarri was out of his depth. But I don't think you can put those 2 results as an anomaly, as some are trying to put them. I look back a year previously and we lost 3-0 at home to Bournemouth. We lost 4-1 away to Watford under Conte. So those results with those same group of players was capable. Those disastrous performances, Newcastle away 3-0, that's 1 goal away from matching Bournemouth. That's the way to look at it for me. I had seen similar signs under a different manager with the same group of players. So I don't think you can put all of the... It's not like Chelsea were winning the league the season previously and everything was fine and we were challenging for the title. We weren't challenging for the title, and I feel like there was probably a culture clash with the fans, and I still think there are fans, unfortunately, that still believe we have the exact same crop of players and we are at the same level for challenging for titles. And I've seen comments saying that without Sarri we would have challenged for the title. I'm sorry, I just cannot buy that, considering we finished 5th the season before. And Sarri did achieve his objective. Next thing to come to is the fan divide, which really became very toxic. I wrote several articles on this. The hatred for Jorginho because of his connection to Sarri, the turn in feeling towards Sarri, the chants towards Sarri from the sections of the away fans and also at home, which really became more prevalent. Being in the stands as a season ticket holder, it really did get difficult at times when you had sarcastic cheering for some of his substitutions. Especially, I remember Jorginho got taken off a few times and you'd have sarcastic cheering, which didn't help the situation, and it just became more toxic, and it just felt like Sarri and Chelsea, football's odd couple, were just bashing against each other time and again. And it just felt like the culture within the club just wouldn't allow Sarri to do what he wanted. He wasn't going to get the patience required to do what he wanted. And it means that we get another reset. I personally believe that Sarri has probably looked at it and gone, I've got a great opportunity to return home. How much homesickness was there? That's been reported as well, how true that was. But I feel like probably Sarri has looked at the writing was on the wall in those tough months. And then he probably feels like if he was to go for a similar period again, he may not be as lucky with his job and he may not get that time back, and he leaves on his terms, a rarity with Chelsea managers, really. I feel like history will be kind to Sarri's time at Chelsea, as small and as short as it has been. People outside of the club are baffled as to why there is so much hatred towards Sarri. Even as a fan myself, who's sort of very active online and within the club, I feel like there are wider cultural problems within Chelsea in terms of the expectations of the fan base and because of history-wise and what fans expect from Chelsea. And also just the style of football, which I feel like I have to address now. I feel like it's just something that has frustrated me with people's complaints about Sarri's style of football and it being unwatchable, unbearable, soul-destroying. My problem with this point of view is that the people arguing it constantly talk about, they'll talk about the unwatchable style of football, but they'll also talk about how style to them doesn't matter and it's a results business, and it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what way you play as long as you're getting the results. For me, you cannot argue both of those. You cannot hold those two positions at the same time. Either you care about style of football and it's something you really do regard as important, or you regard results as the main key. I don't believe you can hold those two positions at the same time and for me to take your argument seriously, because I've literally seen people argue against style of football, say it's awful, what is the style of football, but then say that results are the only thing that matter. Don't care about style of football. For me, in my opinion, you just cannot hold those two arguments. You've got to pick one. In my opinion, it's fine to hold either of those, but I feel like there was a lot of double standards going on and a lot of people trying to hold multiple positions at times to try and demean Sarri and talk down Sarri. Now, I know there'll be people watching this who dislike Sarri, who believed he wasn't the right man for the job, and that's perfectly fine. You are valid in those opinions. That is your opinion, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're stupid or you're ignorant for holding those views. We've had debates. I've had debates with people in person who've argued with me and debated me about these things with Sarri. I've personally disagreed with them, but they are respectful debates, and I feel like that's the main thing that I feel like Chelsea fans need to get back to, is respectful debates within the fan base regarding the manager. It just became too toxic and too divisive over a period of time, and it just became unfun, really. And I just feel Sarri and Sarri up, forget all of it now. We're all Chelsea fans and we need to be united behind the new manager and the new season and the players, because with a transfer ban, it looks like it is going to be a challenging season, but as fans we need to get behind the team and not let agendas and egos and maybe people who have other reasons for doing things and saying things really cloud our judgment and really overtake what is our main reason, which is supporting the club and supporting the players. So those are my views on it. Chelsea need to act quickly, and whoever that new manager is, which it looks like is going to be Frank Lampard. I'll make a video on that when he's announced, and sort of my feelings on that, because I can't say I'm not fully behind it is probably the wrong expression. I feel I do have my fears and doubts, and some of that sort of interlinks, I feel like, with my opinions on some of the criticism Sarri got, and my worry about a manager being given patience at Chelsea. I still do believe patience for a manager at Chelsea is still a myth. And for Chelsea, I feel like to move forward in the current climate of English football, we're going to need to have patience with a manager, and we're going to need to understand the limitations of the squad, the limitations of, you know, a transfer ban, and understand that there's going to be some time for development and growth, and we're going to have to go through a different cycle. But all these things I'm sure will be debated about, and we'll talk about on this channel in the coming months. But that's it, man. Sarri leaves. He leaves, I think, with his head held high, and I believe, even though it's short but sweet. And, you know, what could have been? You know, what could have been if certain different things would have happened. I don't believe all of the criticisms and sort of the arguments against Sarri's tenure, I feel, are not all invalid, and I hope I haven't made that come across like I'm just dismissing every criticism of Sarri. I do have my own. You can go and check articles on the Chelsea Echo that I've written. I have an article as well on there about Sarri's departure and my feelings on that as well, if you want to go and read that. But you can find many articles me criticising his team selections and other things about him and his decision making. So I haven't exactly all been Sarri all the way. I have to say, I have backed the manager and I have believed in what he's done, like I do with most Chelsea managers. So I'll be happy and excited to see who the next manager is, and will support his vision as well. Not blindly, because I don't think that's healthy. I wish Sarri all the best, and I believe his time at Chelsea will be fondly remembered personally by me. I think he gave some great memories, and definitely winning a trophy always wins fans over. So at least we'll always have that time in Baku and that memory of beating Arsenal 4-1. So thank you, Sarri. Thank you for your time with the club. Let me know your guys' opinions on all of this, the future of Chelsea, Sarri's tenure, in the comments below. We'll continue to debate this also on Twitter @SonOfChelsea, where I continue to share my opinions on Chelsea. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you again.